What's up, y'all? We back. Another episode of the Underestimated Podcast. This is your host, Jeremy. You're back with another episode. Today, we are doing something that we've done. I think this is our third time doing this on the podcast. Mock draft. We back. This is the NBA 2025 mock draft. I think this was the literal first episode on the podcast where we did a mock draft. So you can kind of almost expect it annually because I get the same excitement from it every year. New group of players, prospects that we get to see potentially blossom or just deteriorate what we kind of envision them to be in the grand scheme of things. So before I actually dive into the draft, let's kind of set the stage here. For those who didn't watch for those who watched the draft lottery, which I mean obviously I did because I kind of want to see how things would scope out, ahead of time before we covered the mock draft, right? And so I'm just sitting here and now I haven't really been a fan of the newer method to getting to what team picks where. I grew up accustomed to the format of it would go from the literal worst record in the league that particular season to whoever won the championship, right? But now you got the teams that have the top three worst records, all with a 14% chance to get the first overall pick, and while everyone else has like a 1.4 or 1.6% chance. Now, I was not a fan of that until this year because some way, somehow, the Dallas Mavericks ends up with the first overall pick in the draft and win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, right? And it baffled me. I remember I was talking to a friend and I called him immediately. I was like, dude, you just see what just happened? Like the Mavericks just won the draft lottery. And so now you look at this, right? And it's crazy to think how the world, or at least the sports world at least, almost hated Nico Harrison for trading away Luka Doncic, right? For Anthony Davis, saying that defense wins championships, which is something that Luka Doncic just voluntarily decides not to play. And we want to win right now instead of a long-term plan, right? You do this, your team ends up not panning out because literally after Luka Doncic left, it was just injury after injury. From Kyrie tearing his ACL to AD having 3 different injuries that just kept him out for a significant amount of time. Derek Lively had some injuries, so on and so forth, right? All of that hardship got you the number 1 pick. Not just any first overall pick, but Cooper Flag. And from the reports that I've been seeing, some people have been saying trade the pick, go get Giannis, whatever. But from the reports that I have been seeing, the Dallas Mavericks have elected to keep the pick and draft Cooper Flag, which I think they should do as well. Because now you're looking at a team where you often find a situation where a generational talent like Cooper Flag can come in. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. This team was a play-in team this season. With all those injuries and everything, they were still a play-in team. You give them one fully healthy season with a starting lineup that consists of Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively, or Daniel Gafford, whatever. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, even with this stacked Western Conference, they could make the playoffs. They could absolutely make the playoffs. Um, this is going to be interesting. Like, and it's not often you find something like that. You know, most times they are drafting the number one overall pick to legit save the franchise. This is a pick that's going to take you from good to great, in my opinion. Now, could Cooper Flag be the next Dirk Nowitzki? We have to wait and see. Also, there's another thing. Before I'm gonna dive into this, I mean, we gotta talk about them a lot more because we gotta get into the first pick, and obviously we know who it is. But I saw this report. I think it came out literally the night of the draft lottery from Shams saying that the Mavericks are going to be aggressive and trying to get a point guard to kind of like, facilitate the playmaking and, scoring opportunities for guys like Kyrie, Clay Cooper, and Anthony Davis, right? And it frustrated me because if you ask anybody who I've gotten into a sports conversation with, right, about how I feel in terms of basketball and their positions, right? And we get into these arguments where we would like debate who's the best at this position, or who's best all time between X and X and Z. So I'm sitting here questioning myself, thinking I'm almost crazy. Is Kyrie Irving not a point guard? Like, has he been playing the two guard aside Luka, and I guess in Brooklyn with James Harden that long, to where now we consider Kyrie Irving a two guard? Like, anybody knows Kyrie Irving is a point guard, and I hate even talking about this stuff because it really frustrates me. Like, for instance, I don't even want to get into this because I can talk about it all day. Somebody like Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo played an entire season at point guard for Milwaukee. Might have been even two. When we rank Giannis all time position wise, I guarantee you he's going to be ranked with the power forwards, not the point guards. Same thing with Kyrie. Kyrie will be ranked as one of the best point guards to ever play this game, not two guards. Now, if you want to say combo guard, that's another conversation for another day. But Kyrie Irving is a point guard. You probably, if anything, need to get you another wing if you're going to trade for anything. Because I think Klay Thompson, while he could play the wing back in his Golden State days because was younger and that was before all the injuries, and he could still play decent defense, but obviously it's not the all defensive team that he was making when he was in Golden State type of defense. If anything, you need to get you another wing. I mean, they have wings. They got Najee Marshall, got PJ Washington, got Omax Prosper, who's I think could be something really good in a couple of years. But if you're going to trade for anything, though, with this, get an extra wing. Not get another point guard, because you had that in Kyrie Irving. Now, I could understand that if they are looking at Kyrie to miss a good chunk of the season to kind of hold that forward down until he comes back. But if you're expecting Kyrie Irving healthy back the first game of the season, shouldn't he be running your point guard position? But we're gonna dive into this. Let's go. So obviously, with the first pick in the 2025 NBA draft, I think it's a secret to no one that the Dallas Mavericks will be selecting Cooper Flag first overall. So in a draft that probably after the first pick, there could be some uncertainty at the top. Dallas makes the obvious choice and potentially alters the franchise's trajectory for the next decade. Cooper Flag brings a rare blend of cerebral defense, off-court versatility, and relentless competitiveness that immediately elevates the Mavericks' ceiling. And so Flag isn't a volume scorer or a box score chaser, but he's a tone setter. He's a culture piece, a game sculptor. With Kyrie Irving as he should be orchestrating this offense and Anthony Davis patrolling the paint, Flag arrives as the glue that holds this high stakes puzzle together. His defense instincts are borderline freakish. This kind of innate anticipation and timing that lets him erase passing lanes and recover on breakdowns with ease. He'll be the one who kind of like rotates before the mistake happens, who turns 2-on-1s into turnovers, who pressures stars without fouling. He doesn't just play defense, he orchestrates the defense. So offensively, Flag fits in like water in a plant. He doesn't need high usage to matter. His off-ball cutting, surgical decision-making, and confident spot-up shooting will create seamless energy alongside Irving's creativity and Davis's post presence. In transition, he runs like a guard and finishes like a wing. Controlled, efficient, and always purposeful. This pick isn't about instant stats. It's about building a team with the foundation rooted in IQ, flexibility, and edge. With Davis's defense and the gravity that he can bring on defense, and then you have Kyrie's shot making, which is like an artist. Flag becomes the ultimate bridge between both of those playing styles. He stabilizes chaos and amplifies control. More than a prospect, he's a multiplier. And if Dallas is serious about contending now and securing the next generation, Cooper Flag is the rare piece that makes both possible. A player whose fingerprints will be on every possession and every banner chase. Now, here's this one thing that I'm going to say about Cooper Flag. For those who don't know already, if you haven't looked at any other podcast episode until now, but if you're a real one, if you're a day one, then you would know that in terms of college sports, I root for Duke in pretty much every sport, especially men's college basketball. I know at least 90% of Cooper Flag's collegiate career. And the one thing about Cooper Flag that I have to point out when we kind of drool over how great he is, he does not possess one literal clutch gene. Cooper Flag is not clutch. I've seen in situations where he has literally been given the opportunity to have the ball with the game on the line and blow it nearly every single time. I watched in the Final Four game against Houston, and you really don't even see things like this. Like with certain teams, you know, or would expect a certain individual to have the ball with the game on the line. And with this Duke team as presently constructed, you would obviously expect Cooper Flag to have the ball with the game on the line. But I saw a clip right before they came out of a timeout where Jon Scheyer literally tells Cooper Flag, "Hey, this is your moment. We're putting the ball in your hands. Go get it done." Cooper Flag drives, does his favorite little back down spin around fadeaway from about the free throw line, let's say. Blows it. Now your season is over. Now, granted, will this affect him right away? No, because regardless of how much of a generational talent he is, he's probably going to be the fourth, if not fifth or lower expected individual to take that last shot with the game on the line. I mean, you're playing with Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis. they're not putting the ball in your hands unless it's a situation where like, hey, they wouldn't expect Cooper Flag to have the ball with the game on the line, right? Now we put it in his hands to throw the defense off. If it's a situation like that, yeah, okay, cool. But like, if we're just pointing out the obvious, no, he will not have the ball. So this won't affect him right away, but in the future, when those moments could be more frequent for him, things could get pretty bad. But aside from that, like, Cooper Flag is amazing. Now I would like to point out that I love having like a little bit of a twist and some hot takes and, just having some fun with this. So like, while this draft is definitely realistic, it's not hyper realistic. So there's going to be some crazy, fun, and interesting things that you will see go down in this mock draft. So, but I mean, y'all kind of know me and how I kind of get down in these videos. So in these episodes. So I mean, so at number 2, this pick is very interesting to me with San Antonio because from what I've been seeing mostly, people have been saying, take Dylan Harper, take Dylan Harper, take Dylan Harper. Now, usually to me, if you're drafting a guy, especially top 5, but I'll extend it to top 10 maybe. You can even go lottery if you want. Those are guys I usually expect to become starters right away, right? Like, I'm usually not expecting you to draft your 6th man. But if you have De'Aaron Fox now and Stephon Castle, that should be your backcourt of the future. Because Stephon Castle is a 2 guard. He's not a 1. Sorry to break it to you, but he's a 2 guard. If you draft Dylan Harper, then you're, I guess, asking him to be your 6th man, backing up De'Aaron. While that's not horrible, I just don't think that's the best case scenario, which is why I think with the 2nd pick, the Spurs should take Ace Bailey, a small forward, power forward from Rutgers, Dylan Harper's teammate. Because now I've seen situations where people have been saying, I've seen reports where they said Giannis could head over to the Spurs with Wemby. Okay. No. I really like Ace Bailey alongside Wemby. I think they could be a dominant force in the paint. I mean, I just think the Spurs waste no firepower, or waste no time adding firepower, should I say, alongside Victor Wembanyama if they select the electric and high-flying Ace Bailey out of Rutgers. While San Antonio has traditionally leaned on system-oriented, methodical development, this pick injects pure adrenaline into the rebuild. Bailey is a dynamic wing with elite physical tools, explosive leaping ability, and an attacking mindset that perfectly complements Wembanyama's interior dominance. Standing at 6'8" with a condor-like wingspan and a fluid frame, Bailey doesn't just move like a forward, he glides like a guard. In the open floor, he's a blur with the ball, capable of beating defenders off the dribble with long strides or improvising finishing through contact. But what truly makes him special is how naturally he forces defensive rotation. One dribble inside the arc and entire schemes collapse to stop him. That pressure is vital for San Antonio, which has often lacked a true perimeter threat who can bend defenses and create advantages without requiring complex sets. And Bailey plays with a fearless tempo, attacking in closeouts, cutting decisively, and creating momentum plays that shift energy on both ends. He's not just an athlete, he's an emotional spark. Defensively, he still has growing into his reads. But the tools are unmistakable. His ability to recover on switches, chase down blocks, and contest without fouling suggests he could become a terror in transition. And and the disruptive wing defender with time. With Wembanyama behind him or on side of him, Bailey can gamble more. And when he gambles right, the whole arena is going to feel it. For the Spurs, this pick kind of signals a move toward controlled chaos, the kind of chaos that turns defense into fast breaks, missed shots into dunks, and raw potential into nightly highlights. Wembanyama may be the anchor, but Bailey could be the fuse that lights the fire. Now we jump into the third pick, where now the more that I think about it, it's a very odd pick. I mean, obviously, last year they took Jared McCain with the 16th overall pick, and then you take Adem Bona, I think, in the second round. Philly is truly all over the place. I mean, you got Joel, who pretty much doesn't even know for sure that he's going to ever play basketball ever again. And if he can, for God knows how long. And then you have a star in Tyrese Maxey who just needs some help. You got Paul George there now, who's at a very rough time in his career. Like, I still think PG has a ton left in the tank, but PG, by all accounts, should be an NBA champion by now. And for him not to be one is pretty insane. And it's just the more that time progresses with the evolvement of the game and the development of these young guys, that window is, if not already close to closing for Paul George. So when I'm looking at this pick, I'm sitting here like, what do they do? Like, do they trade it? Maybe for a guy like Giannis? Like what do they do? But I think they should keep it. I'm gonna say draft Dylan Harper right here. I think Dylan Harper should go to Philly. Now, I did just say, hey, like, if a guy is drafted this early, he should be a immediate starter. Not in this case. I think Dylan Harper could come in and be their sixth man. I was looking at their depth chart. That's how I kind of did for all these picks. I was looking at the depth, see, what's needed where, and, things like that. Their backup point guard is Kyle Lowry. And while Kyle Lowry has done a tremendous job in his years as a player in this league, he's old. And he's close to retirement. And I mean, they've even brought Jared McCain off the bench for a while. So like, I think it's just a good pick for them, because that kind of gives them their guard tandem of the future per se. You got Maxey, got Jared McCain, you got Dylan. Then you got Quentin Grimes as well. So like that kind of sets you up. And then Dylan is a combo guard, so he could be successful in the 1 or the 2. So I mean, with Joel Embiid anchoring the paint and Tyrese Maxey blossoming into a legitimate all-star, the 76ers opt for further backcourt dynamism by selecting Dylan Harper, a fiercely intelligent, physically strong guard who plays with poise beyond his years. Harper brings a methodical edge to his game. He doesn't rush, he doesn't flinch, and he rarely makes the wrong read. For a franchise trying to balance urgency with sustainability, he's the perfect blend of polish and upside. At 6'5", with a powerful build and natural court vision, Harper operates like a chess player, always a move ahead. He's not a volume scorer in the traditional sense, but rather a possession manipulator. He knows when to shift speeds, when to use his frame to create separation, and when to distribute with surgical timing. But playing alongside Maxey's flashing and Embiid's post-gravity, Harper will be able to punish mismatches, manage secondary actions, and thrive in short clock scenarios without ever needing to dominate touches. What separates Harper from most guards in his class is his feel for tempo. He understands the rhythm of the game, how to slow it down when it gets frantic, and how to accelerate when the defense is backpedaling. That maturity makes him a potential long-term lead guard in Philly, or at minimum, an elite connection piece between stars. Defensively, he's built for playoff basketball. Strong enough to absorb contact, smart enough to rotate early, and competitive enough to fight through screens. Harper brings an edge that aligns perfectly with Philadelphia's win now core. He's not flashy, but he's surgical. For the Sixers, Harper represents control, the ability to keep the offense grounded, protect leads, and close games with discipline. He's not a gamble, but he's an investment in stability with, I'd say, all-star potential. Now, here's where things can get a little interesting here. First mock draft day trade. This pick was originally supposed to be made by the New Orleans Pelicans. The Charlotte Hornets. After trading with the Pelicans. So in this trade, the New Orleans Pelicans receive pick number 4 via Charlotte and a 2025 second-round pick via the Boston Celtics. The Hornets will receive pick number 7, Trey Murphy III, and a 2026 top 10 protected first-round pick via the Los Angeles Lakers. With the Zion Williamson era teetering and an aging core around CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray, the Pelicans move aggressively up the board to secure a long-term building block, someone with star-level upside who can eventually replace or coexist with their current stars. Losing Murphy hurts, but with Herb Jones and other wings still on the roster, the Pelicans bet on an elite upside at the top of the draft. For Charlotte, the Hornets build around LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. Doesn't see a major gap between picks 4 and 7 and take an advantage of a team desperate to move up. Trey Murphy adds ready-made shooting and size to their thin wing rotation, and the extra future first gives them more long-term flexibility. For a team that still has several years from contention, it's the kind of smart, patient move that adds value without sacrificing much. Now, with this 4th overall pick, I have the New Orleans Pelicans selecting VJ Edgecombe, shooting guard from Baylor. Now the Pelicans land a versatile, explosive talent in VJ Edgecombe with the 4th pick, a 6'6" wing out of Baylor who has quickly risen to the top of the 2025 draft board due to his combination of elite athleticism, high IQ, and two-way potential. Edgecombe, who was a standout at Baylor, has the tools to contribute immediately, and the Pelicans see him as the perfect complement to their existing stars. Edgecombe's offensive game is marked by his explosive ability to drive into the rim and finish through contact. His athleticism in transition and ability to make quick decisions under pressure makes him a potential game breaker for New Orleans. Though still working on his outside shot, his slashing and playmaking make him an excellent talent, especially in high-pressure situations at Baylor. He has shown the ability to improve quickly, which suggests his shooting touch could develop as he continues to adjust to the NBA game. Defensively, Edgecombe brings an aggressive mindset that makes him a natural fit in the Pelicans' switch-heavy defensive scheme. His quickness, length, and anticipation allows him to guard multiple positions, which could give the New Orleans Pelicans the flexibility to use him as a primary defender or as a disruptor and help defense. Paired with Herb Jones and Zion Williamson, this trio could wreak havoc on opposing offenses and allow the Pelicans to build one of the most intimidating defensive units in all of the NBA. For the New Orleans Pelicans, this pick isn't just about immediate production, it's about securing a player who could emerge as a cornerstone for years to come. Edgecombe offers both a high floor and a high ceiling, making him a perfect fit alongside their existing core as they look to push for a championship in the near future. Now with the 5th pick, I have the Utah Jazz selecting Trey Johnson, shooting guard out of Texas. The Utah Jazz make a forward-thinking choice with the selection of Trey Johnson, a gifted 6'5" shooting guard from Texas. Johnson has quickly emerged as one of the most complete scoring guards in this draft, combining his lethal perimeter game with the athleticism to finish at the rim. With the Jazz looking to solidify their young core around Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and others, adding a dynamic scoring threat like Johnson is exactly what they need to take their offense to the next level. Johnson is a natural scorer with a smooth jump shot that stretches well beyond the three-point arc. His deep range combined with his ability to create off the dribble makes him a dangerous weapon in isolation or off-ball situations. As a player who can be used as both a primary scorer and a secondary offensive option, Johnson's scoring versatility gives the Jazz the flexibility to run a more dynamic offense. His finishing at the rim, particularly in transition, is explosive and shows his potential as a two-way player. While his defense is still a work in progress, Johnson has the physical tools to develop into a strong defender in the NBA. His length and athleticism give him the capability to guard both shooting guards and small forwards. And his competitive nature ensures that he will put in the effort to improve. With time, Johnson can become a solid perimeter defender who disrupts passing lanes and provides energy on just that end of the floor. For Utah, Johnson is the type of player who can make an immediate impact while also having the upside to grow into a foundational piece. His scoring ability to grow into a foundational piece and versatility are exactly what the Jazz need to complement their existing talent and continue building toward playoff contention. Now with the 6th pick, I have the Washington Wizards selecting Colin Murray Boyles, power forward center from South Carolina. With the 6th pick, the Washington Wizards make a statement by selecting Colin Murray Boyles at 6'7", a hybrid forward center out of South Carolina whose physicality, motor, and playmaking versatility bring a unique flavor to their rebuild. While the Wizards have spent years searching for their identity, this pick marks a cultural pivot away from passive talent accumulation and toward establishing a team with grit, toughness, and purpose. Murray Boyles is a positionless force who doesn't fit neatly into traditional boxes, and that exactly is the appeal. At South Carolina, he showcased an exceptional feel for the game, acting as both a short roll playmaker and a interior scorer who punished smaller defenders with his soft touch and overwhelming strength. What truly set him apart, though, was his court vision and decision-making under pressure. Whether intimidating offense from the elbow, skipping screens, or operating in tight space, he consistently made the right reads. On the defensive side of the ball, he's a tone setter, undersized for a center, but deceptively long and stout. Murray Boyles uses anticipation, timing, and body control to guard up and down the lineup. He battles on the glass, rotates hard, and doesn't back down from any contact. Traits Washington's front office is desperate to institutionalize. In a roster lacking both defensive accountability and vocal leadership, he brings both. His game may not be flashy, but it's functional and built around advanced footwork, elite balance, and a hunger to outwork whoever is in front of him. And on a team still learning how to win, Murray Boyles gives them a player who doesn't care about numbers, only outcomes. He's the connective tissue between effort and execution. For the Wizards, this just isn't a pick, it's a blueprint. Murray Boyles represents the beginning of a new identity: physical, selfless, and unrelenting. With the 7th overall pick, the Charlotte Hornets select, via the New Orleans Pelicans, Kemon Malawach, center from Duke. After trading down from number 4, the Charlotte Hornets make a strategic selection by selecting Kemon Malawach, a 7'2" center from Duke. At number 7, Malawach's unique combination of size, athleticism, and defensive prowess offered the Hornets a promising anchor in the paint, complementing their existing young core. Malawach's journey into the NBA is remarkable. Born in South Sudan and raised in Uganda, he began playing basketball in 2019 after being encouraged by a local motorcyclist. His rapid development led him to the NBA Academy in Africa and eventually to Duke, where he became a showcase of potential on both ends of the floor. At Duke, Malawach averaged 9 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 block per game, shooting an impressive 71% from the field. His ability to protect the rim and finish effectively around the basket makes him an immediate defensive asset. Additionally, his experience playing for the South Sudan national team, including appearances in the 2023 FIBA World Cup and the 2024 Paris Olympics, has equipped him with a valuable international experience at a young age. For the Hornets, Malawach addresses a critical need for interior defense and rebounding. His presence allows for a greater defense versatility and provides a reliable option in pick-and-roll situations. As he contributes to develop his offensive game, particularly his shooting range, Malawach has the potential to become a cornerstone for Charlotte's future success. With the 8th overall pick, the Brooklyn Nets select Jeremiah Fears, point guard, Oklahoma. The Brooklyn Nets, aiming to revitalize their backcourt, select Jeremiah Fears, a 6'4" point guard from Oklahoma, with the 8th overall pick. Fears' combination of scoring prowess, playmaking ability, and defensive tenacity make him an ideal fit for a team seeking a dynamic floor general to lead their offense. During his freshman season at Oklahoma, Fears averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game, shooting 43% from the field and an impressive 85% from the free throw line. His performance earned him a spot on the SEC All-Freshman team and a recognition as a Wooden Award mid-season top 25 watch list selection. Fears' offensive game is marked by his ability to create shots for himself and others. He excels in pick-and-roll situations, demonstrating patience and vision to find open teammates or attack the basket. His quick first step and tight ball handling allow him to penetrate defenses, while his mid-range jumper and developing three-point shot keep defenders honest. Defensively, Fears brings intensity and anticipation, often disrupting passing lanes and applying pressure on opposing guards. His 1.6 steals per game reflect his active hands and commitment to defense. For the Nets, Fears addresses a need for a lead guard who can orchestrate the offense and contributes on both ends of the floor. His maturity, basketball IQ, and competitive spirit align with the team's cultural aspirations. As Brooklyn continues to build its roster, Fears' potential to grow into a cornerstone player makes him a valuable addition to their future. With the 9th overall pick, the Toronto Raptors select Derek Queen, power forward center from Maryland. The Toronto Raptors, seeking a versatile big man to anchor their front court, select Derek Queen, a 6'10" power forward center from Maryland, with the 9th pick. Queen's unique blend of size, skill, and basketball IQ positions him a foundational piece for a team looking to reestablish its identity. Queen's freshman season at Maryland was nothing short of a spectacular season, averaging 16.5 points and 9 rebounds over 36 games. He earned first-team All-Big Ten honors and was named Big Ten Freshman of the Year. His standout moment during the NCAA tournament when he hit a buzzer-beating fadeaway jumper to secure a 72-71 victory over Colorado State, propelling Maryland to its first Sweet 16 appearance since 2016. Offensively, Queen showcases a potential post-game, excellent footwork, and the ability to stretch the floor with a developing mid-range shot. His court vision and passing skills are reminiscent of elite big men, earning him comparisons to Nikola Jokic. Defensively, his monitoring, his positioning, and timing allow him to be an effective rim protector and rebounder. For the Raptors, Queen fills a critical need in the front court. His versatility enables him to play alongside various lineups, providing him both interior scoring and defensive stability. As Toronto continues to blend around its young core, Queen's maturity and skill set make him an ideal fit to contribute immediately and develop into a cornerstone player. Now things get a little interesting. At number 10, we've been hearing rumors about Kevin Durant potentially being a Houston Rocket. Here it is. It happens right here on mock draft day trade, whatever. It's right here. All right. Houston receives Kevin Durant, the 22nd pick from the Phoenix Suns, and the 2026 second round pick also via the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns receive pick number 10 from Houston, Jalen Green, Jae'Sean Tate, and a 2027 top 10 protected first round pick via the Brooklyn Nets or the Houston Rockets. Now with the 10th overall pick, the Phoenix Suns select via the Houston Rockets Kon Knueppel, shooting guard, small forward from Duke University. Following a blockbuster deal that sent Kevin Durant to Houston, the Phoenix Suns retool on the fly by selecting Kon Knueppel, a 6'7" wing from Duke, with the 10th overall pick. After years of sacrificing depth and youth for championship pursuits, Phoenix finally pivots to build a long-term core around Devin Booker, and Knueppel fits perfectly as a high IQ, sharpshooting team first prospect with real two-way upside. With the 11th overall pick, the Portland Trailblazers select Jace Richardson, combo guard, Michigan State. With the 11th overall pick, the Portland Trailblazers select Jace Richardson, a 6'3" combo guard from Michigan State, adding an explosive backcourt weapon to their youth-heavy rebuild. The son of former NBA high flyer Jason Richardson brings a different flavor, less aerial spectacle, more control, poise, and modern versatility as a guard who can create, score, and defend at both positions. And as Adam Silver would say, with the 12th overall pick, we have a trade to announce. Chicago Bulls trade down. Trade the pick. They trade the pick to New Orleans. The Chicago Bulls receive Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson and Lonzo Ball are teammates once again. And the 2025 second round pick via the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans receive pick 12 from Chicago, Patrick Williams, and a 2026 first round pick via the Chicago Bulls that is also top 10 protected. Now, with the 12th overall pick, the New Orleans Pelicans select Will Riley, small forward from Kansas. After trading up for the 12th pick in a deal that sent Zion Williamson to the Chicago Bulls, the New Orleans Pelicans select Will Riley, a 6'8" small forward from Kansas. With this pick, Riley is a high-skilled, versatile forward who can impact the game in multiple ways, making him a perfect fit for New Orleans as they transition to a more balanced, team-oriented approach in the post-Zion era. At Kansas, Riley became known for his fluid offensive game, his basketball IQ, and impressive shooting ability. He averaged 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game in his sophomore year, proving to be a highly efficient scorer both inside and beyond the arc. Riley's three-point shooting became a standout aspect of his game, knocking down 41% of his attempts from deep. His ability to space the floor combined with his smooth ball handling and cutting allows him to play multiple positions on offense. I'm sorry, Will Riley's actually from Illinois, not Kansas. That's my bad. My mistake. Sorry about that. Another trade. As the Atlanta Hawks are going to send the 13th overall pick to the Denver Nuggets, along with a 2027 first round pick via Atlanta that is also top to protect it for Michael Porter Jr. and a 2025 second round pick via the Denver Nuggets. Now with the 13th overall pick, the Denver Nuggets select Igor Demon, shooting guard from BYU. After trading up to the 13th overall pick in a deal that sent Michael Porter Jr. to Atlanta, the Denver Nuggets select Igor Demon, a 6'6" shooting guard from BYU. Demon is an explosive, skilled scorer with a well-rounded game that fits Denver's up-tempo style and offensive system perfectly. At BYU, Demon was known for his impressive shooting ability, knocking down 42% of his three-point attempts and maintaining an efficient scoring clip. His ability to score both off the catch and with the ball in his hands makes him an intriguing prospect as a floor spacing guard who can also contribute as a secondary playmaker. Whether running off screens or creating off the dribble, Demons' offensive versatility allows him to fit seamlessly into Denver's fluid ball-sharing offense. Now, with the 14th overall pick also being the last pick of the lottery, the San Antonio Spurs select Kasparas Giaconis. With the 5th overall pick in 2025 draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Kasparas Giaconis, a 6'9" point guard from Illinois. Standing at a height usually reserved for forwards, Giaconis brings a truly unique profile to the floor general role, a fluid passer, ball handler, and initiator who defies traditional potential boundaries. Giaconis emerged at Illinois as a revelation, combining elite court vision with an advanced feel for pacing and space. His ability to read defenses, manipulate angles, and deliver high-level passes in tight windows made him one of the most dynamic playmakers in the country. Whether initiating in the pick and roll, pushing in transition, or creating off improvisation, Giaconis commanded games with a calmness well beyond his years.